Okay, so I'm trying to do a few different projects this year, and the main project is to put out some continued content for ASMR for you because, to be honest, that's the main thing that all of this is for. It's for you and to create ASMR content. And I'm going to try and go down a few different pathways, and hopefully one will go to the yellow brick road. Anyway, and so, one of those pathways is I want to see if I can find a way to help people that are dealing with children that have autism. And I think information is really, really important on this, but the question is how to get that information to people. I don't know if my information is going to be correct, but I think that there's, a few basic things that need to be looked at to know what to do, because when people are in this situation, there's nowhere you can go to get information, to be honest. It's just like going through all little bits and pieces of information. And that's kind of where I had an idea of like the 100 pieces of the puzzle of autism. And so what I kind of really need right now to start and go forward is a name. And I was trying to think of names to sort of like to relate to autism, ASD, and sort of information to help people. And, I thought, stuff like, ABCs for ASD or autism. I don't know. But I need to find a name that I can use as like a launch pad to start what I'm doing. And so I've spoken with a therapist that works with kids, and I've worked with her, well, not worked with her, but I've had her work with me. And she's supremely skilled at just going at behaviors and just like, seeing all these little behaviors. And she can formulate plans to basically help. And helping some of these behaviors can be hard work, but you've got to do the hard work to get to the yellow brick road down the road. You know what I mean? Like it ain't all gold and good stuff at the beginning, but it's possible you can get there. And so for me, I can see, I feel like I've found the yellow brick road for myself and my own story. It may not be shiny yet, but I don't really care because I've found a pathway that's helping me, and I want to try and help others. And I kind of got a few different ideas on how to go about it, but I have someone, and they actually have a room set up. They haven't used it yet. They've got a room set up in an office, and apparently it's got a two-way mirror. And she's got the idea, or I got the idea, or there's an idea going around that we can put an autistic child in the room, and we can put a parent or a new therapist, not an experienced therapist, a new therapist, in the room, and we can have the experienced therapist trying to use a microphone and give the other person a headphone to try and tell them what to do to work with the child. And we could video both sides of it, and we can listen to what's going on and stuff like that. But I kind of thought that may be something that might provide some tears, but also some smiles about it. And, if this was to kick off, sponsoring a child for a parent that's severely affected because they don't have the money for this type of therapy. This therapy is expensive. We're talking expensive. And, if we could sponsor children to gain therapy and teach the parents every day what they have to do to try and work with the child, because to be honest, the parent's the therapist, not the therapist. Don't work that way. You can't just expect the therapist to fix kids. It's the parent that has to do it. And, if you could start at day one and record it, and then after a year down the track, 2 years down the track, 3 years down the track, and you start seeing the difference. If there's a difference, we kind of hope there's a difference, but if you work really hard, there will definitely be a difference. If you can see that difference, then, you can see something that works. And that's kind of my goal, is to try and give people a pathway, knowledge, information, ways you can go about doing stuff with kids, to help them. And so this other therapist, another lady, they want to do something. Obviously, they need to make money. So in this area, I'm not that worried about making money, but for them, they need to make money. So there still needs to be a way for them to do it. So I'm going to do it myself, but I want to try and see if there's something that I can build upon with them, to build upon to help other people. And kind of that's where I'd really like to go, because I think there's a huge amount of people that can be helped, and the rates of diagnosis for autism are just through the roof. Like, the numbers on the ground that I'm seeing are nothing like the numbers of the official statistics. I'm seeing rates of between 1 in 10 to 1 in 30 children have ASD. And, that's a huge risk that parents are not told about. There's no information about it. They're not expected to get this. Like, they're expected to get a 1 in 5,000, 1 in 20,000 chance of something. As you get older, there's a higher risk of, I can't remember it, but they're not told about 1 in 10, 1 in 30, 1 in 50, 1 in 60, 1 in 80 risks, or whatever it is. So, it's like the whole thing is just swept under the carpet. And I'd kind of like to bring it to the light of parents, so that they can be aware of the signs to look for of a child. Because, when you've got a child at 2 years of age that you can work with, compared to a child that's 5 years of age, the brain development window between those two ages is just like the Grand Canyon. It's just huge, and you've just lost this whole lifetime of being able to work with these kids to help. So yeah, I kind of need a name to try and go with it, and I was never ever good at making names. So I need your help.